Hi guys. Okay, so thank you so much and welcome to my channel. Yay! So if this is your first time coming across my video on YouTube, thank you so much for deciding to watch this video. Just stay with us, click the like button, subscribe, and share if you like what we're saying, if you like what we're doing on this channel. And for those of you that have been here with us for a longer time, hey guys, I see you. Thank you so much, thank you. All right, so tell me in the comment section how you're holding up. How are you doing? What's going on? How do you feel? And I hope you're taking good care of yourself. All right, so we are in the Depression Awareness Month still. So for this video, we'll be talking about some depression triggers. All right, so the thing with depression is people that experience depression always have triggers. There are always triggers. There's always something, a place, a person, a group, an idea, a situation that has triggered your depression. So today we'll be talking about these things. All right, the first thing that could be a trigger for depression is grief and loss. You know, it's what you call bereavement. When a person is bereaved, when a person has lost a loved one, it is normal. It is normal to mourn. It is normal to grieve. It is normal to feel their absence. All right, it is normal, and there is definitely a healthy way of going over or dealing with grief and loss. But when it becomes a matter of concern is when you allow yourself dwell so much longer on your grief, and you also allow yourself, or you deny yourself the opportunity or the avenue to embrace the grief that you're feeling and experience it or overcome it in a healthy way. You would rather just choose to exaggerate the negativity or like the grief or the loss. You know, with bereaved people, you have to be careful, because then you almost cannot even tell when you allow your bereavement allow you to scale through to depressed, right? So there is a close correlation, and you have to be careful. These are some of the things. This is one of the things that can trigger your depression. The second thing that can trigger depression is rejection. I mean, as humans, we all have the innate desire, you know, to be accepted, to be affirmed, to be appreciated. We all crave that feeling, and because of that, it is normal to actually feel a sense of, to feel bad once you have been rejected, to feel bad when you're not accepted. You have to look out for times when you're most likely really sensitive to rejection. When you're on that period or that phase, you would naturally allow yourself, or you create a channel, a passageway for depression to just creep in. And if you have actually overcome depression at any point, you also want to be careful, because you do not want to have a relapse. These are some of the things that can trigger depression. And of course, with depression, it don't mean that the person who do not have happy days. No. There are days that you feel super high, happy, excited, and that's why you need to pick those days for your journaling and your gratitude. You want to practice gratitude. You need to pick those days to practice all of that stuff. I'm going to drop a link to a video I made about journaling, how to start journaling for depression. It's going to be in the description box. All right, these triggers rather are different for different people, because we're all fighting or struggling or dealing with different things. We all have our own some things that we're actually dealing with. All right, so this is not a trigger for all, but these are some of the triggers that you will definitely experience, or you want to stay away from if you have depression. And this is work differently. You just have to observe yourself, be conscious with yourself, be deliberate. All right, observe your mood, observe how certain things make you feel. These are ways you can begin to identify your trigger. All right, just in case you don't know what triggers you. Just pay more attention to your mood, pay more attention to yourself, pay more attention to the way you react, the way your mind, your brain, your body reacts around certain things. Then you can begin to tell what can possibly trigger you. Or you speak to a psychologist, a therapist, or a doctor to help you diagnose your depression and help you treat or understand your depression, okay? Another trigger is stress. Stress can be a major trigger to depression because of the impact it has on both our body and our physical body and our brain. Stress can be so literal, can be so physical. So you want to look out for how you are or how your mood is when you're stressed, for people that do not know their depression triggers. So you want to see how you interact, how your mood is, or what your mood feels like when you're stressed. Most people normally would experience stress, a level of stress, but we're talking about identifying your triggers or some of the triggers that are related to depression, and stress is definitely related to depression. All right, it causes a physical strain to both your body and your brain, and that is really not healthy for a person that is suffering depression. Another thing that can literally trigger your depression could be illness. There are some illnesses that are very, very acute. There are certain illnesses that one can experience in life that would trigger depression. Any form of illness can literally cause a person to be depressed. There's all of that stuff going on with your body that you do not understand when you're ill. All of that stuff that causes you to worry. There is all of the other symptoms you might get from medications you take from when you're ill that can cause your triggers. Be on the lookout for yourself, all right? Check out and observe what could literally trigger your depression. These triggers I'm talking about are not the only triggers out there. I'm saying this because I want you to begin to put yourself in the position to evaluate yourself, to be able to identify some of these things. Sometimes you can, by yourself, help your depression because you begin to understand it. So this is one of the ways you can understand your depression. You need to know what triggers your depression as an individual, as a person. The next thing that can actually trigger depression is rumination, all right? Rumination is actually dwelling. Rumination is actually when your grief, your loss has moved out of control. It has just grown out of control. That's what ruminating is. You sit back with yourself and there's tons of all the questions and what is and the possible outcomes and all of that stuff. Like you just allow your loss to control your life. You allow the loss that you have, you allow the impact of the loss that you have experienced control your life. You allow it to take charge. It just becomes the ruling factor of your life. You literally cannot find a healthy way to deal with your loss, and you still allow yourself to be obsessed by the pain and the negativity and the grief that comes from loss. That's what ruminating is. You allowing the loss that you have just experienced to take total control of your life. And this literally affects the quality of your normal life. There is all of the other negative self-image. There is the doubt, there is the guilt, there is all of that stuff going on in your mind. You want to take a look, you want to take a moment and just take a look at how you relate, how your body, how your mind interprets situations like this, okay? Another trigger for depression is insomnia. Insomnia is just lack of sleep that is characterized by a lot of unrest. So lack of sleep can literally affect the quality of your health. Lack of sleep is directly in relation or correlation with depression. It's impossible to not actually experience or suffer depression, whether situational or something else. But it is almost impossible to not experience depression if you do not have enough sleep. You want to try to have at least 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep daily, every day. You want to try to have that. That is good quality sleep. Look out for that, all right? It's one of the things that can trigger depression. Another thing that can trigger your depression is life transition. People, humans, we are creatures of habits. You know, when you have formed a pattern, when you have formed a habit or a routine, your life, yourself, your identity, your person is used to a routine, is used to an itinerary every day, is used to a particular habit every day. When you experience major life transitions and it takes you out of your routine or your comfort or your habit, it naturally has a way of setting the balance of things in your brain. For some people, it might even be positive transitions. It doesn't have to be negative transitions. So these transitions can go from positive situations, experiences, to negatives. An example of a positive experience is maybe you get a promotion at your workplace, and that promotion involves you taking yourself or your family out of the state, the environment that you have been so used to, that you become so accustomed to, and moving all the way to a different place. Of course, it was a positive event in your life, right? It was a promotion. You're probably excited. You worked so hard. But when you move to this new environment, you're moving yourself out of the normal habit, the people, the places that stuff alone can be a major trigger for depression. Because you're no more surrounded by the events that your mind has been accustomed to. You're trying out new things. It could be what? Maybe divorces. You experience a divorce. Another thing in the space of life transitions that can trigger your depression could be becoming parents, right? So you're probably trying out parenthood for the first time in your life. You have no experience. Like, that's why it's a major transition. Basically, once you experience a new life transition, you want to find ways to gradually, peacefully, calmly just settle into a newer routine, all right? And do not stress yourself over it, because this stuff can legit trigger depression. I hope you're liking the content so far. If you are, give this video a thumbs up, you guys. Give me a subscribe. It's free of charge, all right? Turn on notification buttons because you want to be notified whenever I drop a new video, all right? The next trigger for depression is money problems. Usually, we cannot overlook or underestimate the importance of money and how money or the absence of it influences our mood. When you have money, you can literally engage, enjoy, vacate, travel, have some basic things that you want, right? If you do not have the money, for example, literally, either your income has been cut short or you totally lost your major source or only source of income. Either way, it's just money problems, basically. Just has a way of messing up your mood. For me, I think that when I am broke, when I'm having serious money problems, God, guys, I get literally sick. As in, you can honestly feel my temperature burning. I can get like that when I am broke. So things like that can trigger depression. You have to just find a way to cope with whatever financial challenges or troubles you're having. You cannot even overlook this one. Toxic environments. It is important that you be on the lookout. Toxic environment, toxic people, toxic relationships can literally trigger your depression. Once you find that you're in a space that is always verbally or physically or emotionally abusive, you need to step out. Abuse or toxicity is not just only in what's physical abuse. No, there are emotional ways that you can be abused. And that stuff is toxic for your mental health. So once you find that you're also around people that take advantage of you, that talk you down, that always just puts you out, bully you outrightly, take yourself away from people like that or places like that, because they would literally trigger your depression. It would just cause your depression to just happen, and you're wondering what caused your depression. All right, so just beware. Then the last trigger for this video is drug or substance abuse, right? When you start to rely on drugs or substances, drugs, alcohol, to be able to help your depression, you would gradually slip into an addiction. And that is not doing you any good. Most of the times, people use drugs and alcohol as a means of self-medicating, to feel better, whether mentally, whether, outwardly, or gain some level of confidence, whatever. People just use substance to literally just boost their morals, right? If you find that happens to you all the time, you just need to be careful, because this stuff can trigger your depression, and you probably want to get help if you find yourself in the space of abusing substance, right? So these are my list of major depressions for this video. We will be doing a second part if you just comment in the description box. I want you to comment. Your comments tell us if we're going to see a section 2 of these triggers for depression, because there are tons of them, but we're going to explore more. So just comment depression triggers in the comment section. Depression triggers in the comment section, and then we'll do a video on that. All right? Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for staying with me to the end of this video, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you look out for yourself. Take precious good care of yourself. Keep fighting. My affirmations: My name is Nancy. I am beautiful. I am bold. I am enough. I am creative. I am innovative. I am beautiful. I am bold. Everything is working together for my good. Absolutely everything. See you guys next time.